idea is that in Philippians 4:8, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. What he's saying is to focus on that which is lovely, that which is right, that which is prudent, over and above the things which are not, and then concentrate on these things instead of that which is not. In the context of this passage, Paul's talking about not for them not to be anxious, to not be worried or fearful about all these things. In other words, what the Corinthians are doing is focusing on all of these external things, worries and concerns of life. Paul is saying, don't be anxious about all that stuff. Don't worry about that. Don't be fearful. Instead, just give those things to God. He says, present your request to God, and then the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds. Then he's saying, once that stuff is done, once you've given all that stuff over to God, once your anxiety is his, then start focusing on the things that are beautiful, the things that are right, the things that are noble, all of that stuff. Yeah. So that's Paul's exhortation to I said Corinthians, I meant Philippians. So there you go.
So do you think that true beauty, according to theology, is the Old Testament, he says that the Old Testament refers to beauty in a more comprehensive manner, because how we perceive beauty as an outward appearance, but then the Old Testament is saying how beauty is doing what God has intended for you, and it's being part of the big picture.
Yeah, so there's going to be a more, it's not to say that in the Old Testament nobody saw beauty or saw somebody as beautiful or something as beautiful. What it's saying is that there was a more comprehensive idea of beauty. You weren't just beautiful because you looked good, you were beautiful because you were a beautiful person. The sunset isn't beautiful just because it's pretty and it has colors. It's beautiful because it's part of this whole process of the sun and the moon and the stars and all that stuff. It's a all-encompassing beauty of creation and the order of creation and all that stuff. So the idea is that aesthetically, you or creation or whatever might be something that is attractive or aesthetically pleasing or perfectly proportioned, whatever you want to call it. But that's only a small aspect of the totality that is beauty.
I definitely agree that the larger cultural context or concept of beauty is different than the biblical concept of beauty. I personally believe that people are beautiful because they are in the image of God. They're creations of God, and they're in the image of God. And so every single culture has ways of accentuating their beauty, but I really believe it's just there's a natural inherent beauty in people because they are people. Just like a flower is a natural, or a tree, or nature has this natural inherent beauty because it's God's craftsmanship, God's work. So yeah, in terms of the cultural concept of beauty, really, there's ways of accentuating your beauty, but the New Testament is very clear that you're supposed to if you really want to accentuate your beauty, you clothe yourself with Christ. So you become more like Christ, more like God. So there's this aspect of also how you live your life and how you treat others. Philippians 4 is encouraging us to fill our minds with the things of God. So the opposite would be ugly things, distorted things, like lies or untruth or stuff that's garbage for our minds and souls. And I think Philippians 4 is essentially inviting us to think about the things of God. That they're all life-giving things. And out of all the things you can fill your mind with, those are what Paul is encouraging us to think about. And he encourages us to think about that, to talk about that. And so I think that's the larger context of Philippians 4. It's a call to live in a way that's holy by thinking about things that are pure and beautiful and righteous and good. I think that's essentially what it's about.